Mars has water. So everybody grab a cup. Actually, they're saying that this water that's on Mars, which was recently discovered, is not like the kind of water that you want to drink because apparently it has some kind of saline, different kind of salt that's in there. It's not like the salt water that's in our oceans here. The salt that's in the water that they've discovered so far, I mean, what they've figured out anyway, is that this particular salt would actually kill you if you drank it. Fortunately, we don't have to do that yet. But what's really interesting is that the rover that's out there, they feel that it's not sterile enough to go over and check out to see if there's life in there because, they did a sterilization, to get rid of the more nastier bugs and whatever that's on there, but it's not a super duper decontamination, so they can make sure it's completely sterile. So they send it over there, and they dip around in the water, find it or whatever the liquid that is, and see if there's life in there. So right now it's off limits to the rover, but they will be sending another one here in 2018 to check it out, and it's going to be the ExoMars 2018 rover. When I first read it, it's like it's not completely sterile. I was like, what are you guys doing, having sex in the in the rover room before you go? It's like they'll send a little DNA. But no, it was really interesting. The fact is that we might find life there is a very amazing thing. And what I think it mostly is, if they can find life that is, outside what we consider life, there anyway, then it's more than likely that life can be pretty much anywhere in the universe. Kind of your thoughts?
Yeah, I always struggle to understand, the NASA stuff. I spent too many years listening to Star Trek, science ease. But
make it
yeah,
so.
I guess yeah. But that's immediately what I thought of was that, when we talked about how the probe is not sterile enough to actually go down and take these samples or test it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought of the Prime Directive, and actually I found another article that said, yeah, that's kind of exactly what this is, because we don't want to contaminate the sample. And I'm thinking, well, we're still just sending a probe up there just because it's not touching the water. Is there?
Yeah.
Is it still contaminating it? But yeah, and I was trying to understand, why is it salt? And I guess salts, if there's water on the surface, it would have to contain some salt, I guess, is what they're saying. But part of the reason that it doesn't have water is because of, I guess, the gravity being different, the whole atmosphere being different.
Yeah.
There, it dissipates faster. It becomes a vapor rather than solidified.
Yeah, from what I understand now, this is just my very basic layman knowledge of this. The reason why that the atmosphere that's on Mars isn't as strong is because the Earth's or the Mars's gravity is not as strong. It's not spinning quite as fast, so it's just not as strong to hold the atmosphere in place. So a lot of the moisture that was there may have evaporated out into space while it was being formed.
Well, it becomes ice again too on its caps. And does it have something to do with how far away it is from the sun too?
No.
Would that affect the gravitational pull or not?
No, I don't think so. I'm guessing, of course. I'm not an astrophysicist. I don't even own an astro droid.
We're not talking about your sex toys.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Maybe Dave knows a little more, though, because he knows so much about so much.
Yes, he does. Dave, your thoughts?
All I know is that the United Nations Treaty in 1967, which is known as the Outer Space Treaty, has declared that anyone who ventures to Mars can't touch the water. It's against the law.
I guess they're going to get the Mars cops out there. It's like, you touch the water, you're going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that water technically belongs to anyone who's a earthly inhabitant, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
So if you jeopardize Mars's water, presuming you find it, which they obviously now confirmed that they have.
Right.
It's a crime to put something into the water that could contaminate it and make it so that we don't get good scientific data.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Unlike that one scientist that a couple weeks ago, he's the best way to put an atmosphere on Mars is fucking nuke it. I'm like, really?
He watched.
Yeah,
Total
I
Recall too
totally
many
disagree with
times.
that.
What's that, Connie? I'm sorry.
No, I was interrupting Dave. Actually, I didn't realize that. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, he's done. What were you saying?
No, I just said he watched Total Recall too many times.
Oh yeah.
That's the point of Total Recall is they have nuclear rods. They find that the alien life on Mars actually had built a nuclear reactor, and
Oh
they
yeah.
activate it, and it creates atmosphere on Mars.
Right.
At the end of the movie.
Yeah, at the end of the movie. Spoilers. So.
Sorry. I'm sorry that I spoiled a 20-plus-year-old movie.
If you haven't seen the original, then no sense watching it now.
Well, the jokes around Facebook are that Nestle company is interested in the water on Mars. So
Making only the Mars very best.
It's exciting that we're finding water on Mars. However, it's probably not as exciting until we can find proper conclusions to what that really means.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we should hold out on thinking it means that there's life on Mars or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, not life as we know it anyway. I mean, it's not like there's some guy named Glorp walking around, saying, "Hey, how you doing?"
There's a possibility, but the implications are pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I question: is it H2O as we know it, or is it some kind of liquid? Without actually, sampling it, how are we going to know exactly what the chemical compound is of?
Right.
Well, it has a lot more in it as well.
Yeah.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not just water.
Yeah. No. There's a lot more to it. There's some that special whatever salt that's in the water. That's there I was talking about earlier. Dawkins Dog from the chat room says, "I want the first human on Mars to be called Mike Robe." Just because it'll result in some fucking confusing conversations.
Yeah.
I don't know which version of My Favorite Martian you're talking about. The recent one from like the 1980s, Karn.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah, the movie. Or you're talking about the old TV show. I'm aware of both. I haven't seen them both, but I'm aware of them. So. But anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Mars rover that's there right now was never built considering they'd find water.
Right.
They really didn't expect to find it.
Yeah.
And so it's not built fit for that environment.
Right.
So even if it could bring back samples of it A, legally can't, and B, it's not built to do that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So they don't have the proper lab set up within.
They don't have anything that's proper to really study it and find out what the implications are.
Yeah, the whole area is like non gratis, So you can't go over and dig around like, what's poke around over here, So
no, you can't do that. I mean, there's a lot of very steep cliffs.
Yep.
Oh, and crevasse, like what did they call them?
Crevices.
Yeah,